With David Goerlitz. Are you still a macho dude without the cigarettes?
I sure am. I'm a better macho dude than I ever was before because I know for the first time what good health is.
Okay, we're going to take questions now from our studio audience. First question for David.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Second question for David.
How did you quit?
How did I quit? I didn't quit overnight, number one. I made a decision last summer to quit, and I built up the courage because a lot of reasons why people don't want to quit is because they don't want to fail, and they hear how hard it is. So I just got very angry at what I did to myself. I got very angry at what I was doing to my kids by blowing smoke their way when I knew it was going to harm them. And then I also got angry with the tobacco companies for lying to me for so long. So the anger took over a lot of the physical addiction. So I just did a cold turkey, and it's been hard, but so far, it's almost 7 months, and I feel great.
Okay, next question.
How old were you when you started smoking?
I was 14, and statistically, 75 to 80% of all smokers start before they're 14 years old. And I think that's kind of horrible, don't you think?
Is it peer pressure that starts them smoking? Other kids are doing it, and they want to do it, or is it...
Well, I'm not a child psychologist, but I know when I was 12, 13, 14, you start to break away from the parental, stage. Any of you kids out there break away from your mom and dad telling you what to do once in a while? If they tell you not to do something, you do it. You do just the opposite, right? So what the tobacco industry tries to capitalize on, Stan, is the fact that they're going to start putting role models out there that these kids are going to seek out on their own. And so it's a combination, I would say, of peer pressure plus a child or a teenager wanting to be striving for manhood if they're a young boy, or women striving for womanhood, as we all do. Kids want to be teenagers, and teenagers want to be adults. So I think the tobacco industry has certainly targeted the kids. So I think it's a combination of both. But I was 14, like most kids.
Okay, speaking of parents and kids, John Tonelli is a hockey player with the LA Kings. Every now and then he gets into a slight little fisticuff at work. The question is, how does he explain this to his 8-year-old son? Let's find out. John Tonelli. John, I guess there's not a rule that you have to shave before a practice.
Not actually, no. We pretty much get to look the way we want to on the ice. A lot of guys try to wear playoff beards for the playoffs, try to look mean as they can.
So when you're sitting in the penalty box, are you embarrassed?
There are those rare occasions where you do take an embarrassing penalty that could hurt your team. Those times you like to go in the penalty box and hide your head and bow so nobody can see you.
You have 4 Stanley Cup rings.
Yes, I do.
Now that must make your hand awfully heavy, or do you all wear them at the same time?
I very rarely wear them because I'm very fidgety with my fingers and I'm afraid of losing them. But I'll wear them on special occasions. I think it's quite an accomplishment, to have one, and I realize how nice it's been to have 4 of them. I think I remember when I was a little kid, and my older brother and I used to play for the Stanley Cup all the time, and it was a big silver ashtray. It's about 4 feet tall, and we used to carry that thing around the house every day, at least once a day. But I never got to carry it around. It was always my older brother who won by 1 goal.
Oh, that's nice. But now you have all these rings.
Now I got the ring, and he's got the ashtray.
Is there a lot of pressure on you as an individual player during the playoffs in particular, not just to get the ring, but to win the cup for the team?
Well, I think there's so much pressure overall in the playoffs that to be successful, you have to learn how to handle the pressure. And you can either take it in a negative way or a positive way. And if you take it in that positive way and use it as energy going out, and working hard and being a type person that to go out there and take things by control and do it yourself. And if the whole team's thinking that way, then you're going to be successful.
Is it tough to stay modest? Because you're like a hero to thousands of kids and adults.
No, I don't think so. I think it's easy to be modest. You dream all your childhood years. You dream about becoming a professional hockey player, and I feel very fortunate that I made it, and I was successful on playing on 4 championship hockey teams.
What are your plans after hockey?
I'll probably give my rings to my son. I know he's looking forward to that, but it's the real world. You know, this whole career for me has been fun. And I feel fortunate because I've been able to work at something that I enjoy doing. After that, I think I'll probably get into the construction part of building homes.
How old is your son?
He's 8 years old.
Now, is he a big star at school because of who his dad is? I mean,
no,
every year in September, do you have to sign 30 autographs for every kid in the class?
Oh, once in a while I bring his buddies down to the Forum in Los Angeles and go for a skate. You know, the kids really enjoy that. And, his buddies enjoy coming into the dressing room and meeting all the guys, and all the guys pick on them and have fun with them.
So you like kids, I guess?
Oh, I love kids.
When you own one, you kind of have to like them, don't you?
You betcha. The most fun out of life I get is watching him play hockey. And that's, those kids at that age, that's where the real fun is. And they're just going out there for all kinds of pleasure.
Do you have a terrible urge to tell the coach he's not doing it right?
I think I've done a good job keeping my mouth shut and staying out of the way. You know, just it's pretty tough when your kid's out there playing. You want to yell to him and encourage him to skate harder or to drive to the net to score a goal, and you really got to try and keep quiet and just let him do what he wants to do to have fun.
You've had the odd tussle on the ice. Now, how do you go home after sitting in the penalty box or being naughty out there? How do you go home and explain to your son that he shouldn't do that?
That's funny. That's funny you say that, because I had a incident happen to me a couple of nights ago. I got a major penalty for slashing, and I was talking to my son. He just lost a big playoff game, so he's finished hockey for the season, and he says to me, "Dad, you know, how can I get away from these guys? They're always holding me and hooking me." And I said, "Well, you don't retaliate. You just try and go ahead and play the game and skate as hard as you can." And he says, "But Dad, you slashed a guy." And I said, "Yeah, I know, son, but that's not right, okay? You got to go out there and have fun."
So that's what you do.
Absolutely.
Thanks, John.
You're welcome.
David Goerlitz.
Oh, you unconscious smoker!
Oh,
you get
no.
out!
Here we
You
go.
know you're not allowed to smoke. Now, I don't want to see you smoking here no more. Get out of here! Get out of here! You're not allowed to smoke. You know that. Get out of here.
There you go.
Come on. Let's go now.
Al takes his job very seriously.
Doesn't he,
sometimes.
though? This is a bizarre show.
Well, thank you.
I am impressed.
We're being very serious today because this is a serious issue.
Yes, it is.
Now, you have
and
kids.
I have 3.
Did they put pressure on you to stop smoking?
Oh, yeah. My son is 11 years old. He looks just like that little boy there, right in the second row with the gray sweatshirt on. Yeah, that one right there. He's
Not
11.
Al.
But for 4 years in a row, on his birthday, he's asked me to quit smoking. And I haven't been able to do it until this last year, and it feels wonderful.
Now, kids are now putting a lot of pressure on parents to stop smoking.
Absolutely.
Are they getting the education in schools?
Well, I think it's a combination of seeing that the role models that once were out there, like the Don Johnsons of Miami Vice, who's quit smoking, and people like myself and Corbin Burnson. And there's not one Winston man who smokes, by the way. And most of the models today don't smoke, so they know there's a phoniness attached to it, you know, along with that healthy image of good health and machismo. Like
That's what you were saying, that you were telling me that cigarette ads are a lie because these guys aren't smokers anyway.
Well, the guy that you saw hanging off the mountain with those fancy clothes on and making it look rugged, you couldn't tell that it was me who had bleeding gums for 5 years and I had no feeling in my left leg. And there's a definite hypocrisy there, I think, especially when you're selling good health, when we know what the real effects are and the verdict being in on all counts of what cigarettes will do to you.
Now, some positive things have happened from your anti-smoking campaign. You just won a big award.
Yeah, I won the World Health Organization Award down in Washington, and it was a real honor. I would rather not be honored for being a hero. I mean, this is something I'd rather not be doing. I wish we didn't have this kind of an issue to have to really worry about when it comes to kids. But a lot of the positive has really come to the surface, and my real joy is that I'm now a hero to my son and my kids and my wife, because, you know, for so long they begged me to stop smoking for my own good health. Not that they were even really annoyed with me smoking around them, even though they were. I just didn't care. But I want to be a hero to kids, and I want kids to know that you don't have to be a smoker to be cool. And you don't have to be a smoker to get out there and to be this rugged image of good health.
How have your friends reacted? I guess you have probably friends who still smoke.
Yeah, I have a lot of good friends. See, I'm not an anti-smoker. I still have a lot of good friends who smoke, and I'm not one of these obnoxious zealots that goes into a restaurant and does this and looks really obnoxious at people who smoke. I don't think that's good. I think we need to look at a smoker with some good love and concern and compassion. And the kids, same thing when you go home. Don't nag your moms and dads to smoke. Go up and give them a hug and tell them you love them. Tell them you're going to pray for them. Tell them you're going to do things to help them to quit, rather than tell them you can't stand it. Because when a smoker is addicted, Stan, you got to understand this. Addiction...
You're saying it's a drug and it's an addiction.
It is absolutely a drug. It's more addictive than cocaine and heroin. And that's not me saying it. That's our Surgeon General telling us that down where I live. He just said it January 11th for the second year in a row. It's the #1 abused drug that we have in the United States and worldwide. And unfortunately, the United States government does not call it a drug that they should, because it's not FDA regulated. A lot of different reasons we need to change some of our thinking about smoking, and I hope to bring it to the surface.
And you're now traveling around the world.
Yeah.
In this campaign.
Yeah, I'm in Canada now, and I'm going to Japan, and I'm going to go to Portugal, and I'm going to go to Malaysia.
In a fun town?
It's, yeah.
Fun town?
Great. Yeah, I missed my plane coming in yesterday, but...
Not because you stopped for a cigarette,
No, no, I was over beating somebody up who was smoking.
We're out of time. Thank you for coming, David. Thanks a lot. It was great. And thank you for watching, and thanks to our studio audience. We'll see you next time. Goodbye. We're running out of time for this morning, but we'll be racing back to you again tomorrow morning at 9:30 when our guest cross-country running champ Lucy Smith gets us moving. We'll also learn to snowboard. That's all tomorrow morning on Something Else.